World War I produced numerous military figures whose leadership and strategies shaped the course of the conflict. One such figure was General Charles Mangin, a French officer known for his aggressive tactics, unyielding determination, and his controversial role in France's colonial forces. Mangin's fearless approach earned him both admiration and criticism during the war, but his contributions to the Allied victory cannot be overlooked. In this video, we will explore the life of General Charles Mangin, his service during World War I, and how his military strategies played a key role in France's war effort. We will also examine his relationship with colonial troops, his command style, and the legacy he left behind. Charles Emmanuel Marie Mangin was born on July 6, 1866, in Sarrebourg, in northeastern France. Coming from a family with a military background, Mangin was destined for a life in the armed forces. He attended the prestigious École Spéciale Militaire de Saint-Cyr, graduating as a promising young officer in 1888. Early in his career, Mangin gained valuable experience in France's colonial campaigns, particularly in West Africa. His service in these regions shaped his military outlook, and he became a firm advocate for the use of colonial troops in France's military endeavors. Mangin's early exposure to colonial warfare and his belief in the strength of these troops would later influence his command style during World War I. By the time the war broke out, Mangin had earned a reputation as a fearless and bold leader, willing to take risks and push his men to their limits in the pursuit of victory. When World War I erupted in 1914, Mangin was ready to apply his extensive military experience on a grander scale. He initially served in various capacities on the Western Front, and his leadership soon garnered attention. Known for his aggressive tactics and willingness to go on the offensive, Mangin was appointed to command a series of key French divisions during the war. Mangin's belief in the offensive was rooted in his conviction that victory could only be achieved through relentless attacks on the enemy. He subscribed to the French military doctrine of élan, which emphasized the power of aggressive assaults to break through enemy lines. Despite the high casualty rates often associated with such tactics, Mangin continued to push for bold offensives, believing that only through sustained pressure could the Germans be defeated. One of the key moments in Mangin's career came during the infamous Battle of Verdun in 1916. Verdun was one of the longest and bloodiest battles of World War I, and the outcome of the battle had significant implications for both the French and German armies. Mangin's role in the defense of Verdun earned him further distinction as a determined and capable commander. Though initially sidelined during the battle, Mangin was brought back into command after General Philippe Pétain took control of French operations at Verdun. Mangin's aggressive tactics during the later stages of the battle helped the French retake key positions that had been lost to the Germans earlier in the conflict. His role in the counteroffensive that ultimately secured Verdun for the French forces cemented his status as a critical figure in the French war effort. One of the most controversial aspects of Mangin's career was his strong advocacy for the use of colonial troops in the French army. As a veteran of France's colonial campaigns, Mangin saw great potential in recruiting soldiers from the French Empire to fight in Europe. His views were outlined in his 1910 book La Force Noire, The Black Force, in which he argued that France's African colonies could provide a reservoir of manpower that would strengthen the French military in future conflicts. During World War I, Mangin's vision came to fruition as tens of thousands of soldiers from French colonies, particularly from West Africa, were recruited to fight on the Western Front. These troops, often referred to as tirailleurs sénégalais, played a crucial role in several key battles under Mangin's command. Despite facing harsh conditions and discrimination, these colonial soldiers demonstrated courage and resilience in the face of adversity. However, Mangin's use of colonial troops was not without controversy. Critics argued that these soldiers were often sent into the most dangerous and grueling battles, and their high casualty rates raised ethical concerns about their treatment. Nevertheless, Mangin's belief in the fighting ability of colonial troops never wavered, and he continued to advocate for their use throughout the war. In 1917, Mangin was appointed to lead a major offensive as part of General Robert Nivelle's grand plan to break the stalemate on the Western Front. The Nivelle Offensive, launched in April 1917, was designed to deliver a decisive blow to the German forces and end the war quickly. Mangin's role in the offensive was significant, as he was tasked with commanding key sections of the French army during the attack. Unfortunately, the Nivelle offensive turned out to be a disaster. The Germans were well prepared for the assault, and the French forces suffered massive casualties without making significant gains. Mangin, known for his unyielding aggression, was criticized for pushing his troops into such a costly and ultimately futile battle. The failure of the Nivelle offensive led to widespread discontent within the French army, resulting in a series of mutinies. As a result of the offensive's failure, both Nivelle and Mangin were removed from their command positions. Mangin's career seemed to be in jeopardy, but his fortunes would change once again as the war dragged on. Despite the setbacks of 1917, Mangin's military career was far from over. In 1918, as the German army launched a series of massive offensives on the Western Front, Mangin was reinstated to command. His aggressive style of leadership was once again put to the test as the Allies mounted a counteroffensive to push the Germans back. Mangin played a key role in the Allied counteroffensive during the Second Battle of the Marne in July 1918. His troops, including many colonial soldiers, were instrumental in halting the German advance and turning the tide of the war in favor of the Allies. Mangin's relentless pursuit of the enemy and his ability to coordinate attacks with other Allied forces contributed to the eventual collapse of the German war effort. By the time the armistice was signed in November 1918, Mangin had cemented his legacy as one of France's most important military leaders during World War I. His aggressive tactics, while controversial, had helped secure critical victories that contributed to the Allied triumph. After the war, Mangin continued to serve in the French military and remained a prominent figure in France's post-war defense strategy. He played a key role in the occupation of the Rhineland, overseeing French forces in the region during the years following the armistice. Mangin was also involved in diplomatic efforts related to France's colonial empire, reflecting his long-standing interest in colonial affairs. Mangin's legacy, however, is a complex one. While he is remembered as a brave and determined commander, his reliance on colonial troops and his aggressive tactics have been the subject of much debate. His contributions to the Allied victory in World War I are undeniable, but his methods and the human cost of his strategies continue to spark discussion among historians. General Charles Mangin's career during World War I was marked by both great success and significant controversy. His leadership in battles like Verdun and the Second Battle of the Marne demonstrated his ability to turn the tide of war through bold, decisive action. However, his aggressive approach and use of colonial troops raised ethical questions that linger to this day. Mangin's legacy as a fearless military leader who helped secure victory for France is firmly established, but his role in shaping the future of French colonial and military policy continues to be a topic of reflection. His story is a reminder of the complexities of war, where triumphs are often accompanied by difficult moral and human costs. Thank you for watching our video on General Charles Mangin, one of France's most significant and controversial figures during World War I. If you enjoyed learning about his role in the war and his military strategies, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Heroes Historia. Let us know your thoughts on Mangin's legacy in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our other videos on key historical figures from World War I. Stay tuned for more fascinating history from Heroes Historia.